once we get a little bit minute in. Okay. So, um, okay, sound check. A little bit minute in. Okay. Sound check.
Hey, King 2. This is White Rook over.
Sound check. Okay, sound check.
It's a Big 10-4.
I got to mute though. Now that
This is White Rook over.
it takes me almost as long to figure out how to mute as it does.
Yeah, well,
okay.
we are live. I see us live.
Folks, we're going to get ready here. Everybody on board and ready to go. We're going to start this show off. So 1, 2, 3. Welcome into DroneNation for 2021, and we're calling this the pre-Thanksgiving special edition. Marcus has the pies in the oven, and the turkey's being prepared now, and we're all going to have a good time this week. But before I get into too much, Julie here, I want to pause for a serious note. Our good friend John Carroll, aka JCFlying on YouTube. We want to send out condolences and our thoughts and prayers. John has recently lost his wife, and I won't say any more details than that because I don't know, what he's posted out there. But just please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if John is in the chat right now, but John, we're thinking about you, and I'm so sorry.
Okay, and I want to welcome our special guest tonight, Lauren Donauer, all the way from windy Calgary, Canada. Whatever, he's been battling the winds lately, but he was able to make it on the tubes tonight. So, Lauren, how you been?
Not bad. Wind's been blowing enough; it just about blew me down to your neck of the woods.
Well, you'd be welcome in Idaho.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'd fly right past the border guards, right?
Well, they wouldn't even see me. I'd blow by so fast it'd just blow you away.
Just like a tumbleweed.
You travel faster than that Mavic 3.
I don't know about that.
Well, folks, we're going to get into the Mavic 3 in the show here, but I want to, check in with my buddy Marcus here to see how he's doing, too. Marcus, what's been up with you?
Well, interesting day today, Ron. In fact, we were just talking in the pre-show about our weather, and I think Lauren had some nice flying weather today, but he didn't get to do any. Well, unlike Lauren, I had a bunch of batteries charged, so I went out today, and I was flying a couple of Hubsan drones. I had a fully charged battery for the Mavic 3. Why I didn't fly that, I don't know. Beautiful blue sky day. Went out and flew the Hubsan Zeno Mini Pro out at Kleiner Park. They had an update where they added 48 megapixel shooting with it.
Wow! So
I took it out, Ron. I acted like I was a Ron Brown photographer. I took some pictures, and Ron, I kept looking for the shadows and the cool aspects. I'm not saying I'm at your level, but I found some. Or yours, Lauren, but I found some shots to take. And then a little bit later on, I took the Zeno Mini SE and I went out to Heroes Park, and I kind of wanted to demonstrate the intelligent flight modes. I'm telling you, Hubsan does a good job with their tracking. They provide both active track and GPS track on that drone, and it works quite well. And had pretty good luck with their other intelligent flight modes as well, as I kind of expected. I met another fellow drone flyer on here. I don't know if Del Zane, I don't know if he's in the chat, but we sat down and shot the breeze for about an hour at the park, and so it was a beautiful blue sky day.
That's great. And it's funny you mentioned about pictures. You got the two guys on the same show, that the only two guys on the YouTube that take more drone pictures than they do video on the same show here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, one quick note before we kind of get into too much of the agenda. Two quick notes. DeMarco Moore, our fearless Monday Night Football forecasting expert, He's right now he's in an undisclosed location on assignment, but he will be joining us later in the show for that big football pick. So just hang in there, folks. And also, John Flynn reached out to me on Facebook. I don't know if John's in the chat yet, but he wanted to let me know there's a gentleman. And sorry, I just saw the note just for a second. There's a gentleman, I think, in his area that had a flyaway with his Mavic 3, and he was discussing it on YouTube someplace. So I try to get more details on that.
So would that be Flying Fin Media, Ron?
That could be.
That's who it is. John
Thanks for that update. And as we get more information on that story, we will try to pass it along here. Anyways, to get into the agenda here, I think we'll skip right down to like a story I think everybody's been talking about, the DJI FPV drone. It came out, I think, February of this year, 2021. It was DJI's first attempt at making an FPV drone. They had made goggles and an air unit for builders, but this was their first kind of all-in-one kit. And it kind of took things by storm. I think it mostly was for kind of camera drone guys like us who wanted to try FPV rather than hardcore FPV guys. But anyhow, it got a lot of interest, converted a lot of people over. And then I saw just Saturday night, I believe, I saw Amazon and Best Buy, and it's probably spread to other retailers now, but it's not DJI themselves. They have dropped the price for the combo down to $9.99. So that's a $300 price drop over the $12.99 price. That translates between a 25 and 30% discount. Marcus?
How many did you order, Ron?
Well, they said some guy from Idaho ordered them all, and they were out of stock at the moment, but they were hoping to get some back in again.
Yeah. Hey, you need to put Johnny's last comment up on the chat here, Ron, if you get the chance. So here's the thing, and I suspect all three of us on the panel here kind of feel the same way about that particular product. $300 off. Man, boy, was I tempted. My little order finger was itching like crazy. But it comes down to the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Ron. I've got a bunch of drones, including a new super premium flagship drone, the Mavic 3. Okay, it's the time to fly the thing. And the whole argument that Ron and I have talked about 100 times, and I bet Lauren will agree, I'm just not really hip about having those goggles on. I typically fly by myself, so it's situational awareness. I know I'd love flying it. I think I would, but I'm just not ready yet. Maybe one of these days. How about you, Lauren?
For me, like I say, I've tried multiple times with different goggles and stuff, and with my lenses, I just can't see. And I've had people say, "Well, just go buy another set of glasses." to fly something that I may or may not like. No, I'm not going to go out and spend money on another set of glasses.
Yeah. But, I'm not saying I'm not, because let me tell you, I'm sorely tempted. I mean, if nothing else, just I don't know, but. Ron. I mean,
real quick note for Laura and I. That am I correct on this, Lauren? That the FPV drone doesn't take photos, right?
It doesn't.
Because I don't fly it, I honestly couldn't fly it.
It doesn't take photos, so that it loses a lot of interest for people like Laura and I who are up there. To get Laura's more photos than video, and I'm probably 50-50. But I mean, again, the same things hold true. Just as Lauren said, I wear glasses. I wear like a heavy prescription. Wear the goggles with the glasses is an issue. I don't want to order expensive diopters and put it in. I may not even like the thing, and I got a chance to fly the FPV drone at Spin Up. I mean, I flew with that magic wand thing and whatever, and it handled well. It was a good GPS drone. I mean, what I saw was impressive. I didn't really like using that wand thing, but I never put the goggles on. But anyhow, for me, I mean, I could be all wrong, but I think it's the type of thing I get it. I fly it like 6 times and then never again. So to me, I'm paying $1,000 to fly something like half dozen times.
Maddie just said in the chat that it does take photos. I thought somebody told me that it did
good information,
not,
Maddie.
Listen, I think the thing would be a riot to fly. I know it'd be fun. I love speed, for God's sakes. So I think that would be fun. But
not you, Marcus. You like speed, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Darn right. I had this conversation with Lauren Donauer in the chat here the other day. He said the same thing. It's that situational awareness. He said, the way Lon described it, he said your ears get you really get hyper. Your hearing gets hyper. You hear footsteps around you, and he said he was always turning the drone around and flying it back towards him because he wanted to see who was walking around and so forth. So
I'm the same way. I would feel insecure all by myself, just out there. Not. I mean, I know the thing doesn't fly long, but whatever, 5-10 minutes, I just feel secure being so immersed in it that I have no idea what's going on in the real world.
So Ron, you said yesterday that I thought was a really good point. I think it was yesterday when we were talking. What Ron said, he said, you know what? If he and I lived in the same town and we were going out flying together and stuff, hey, maybe, because then you could you'd have a flying buddy that's kind of looking out while you've got the goggles on. Again, I typically am out flying by myself. So anyway, we probably beat that horse to death.
I got a real quick update. I don't want to break the conversation off on the FPV drone, but I did get a note from Ray Kelly a little while ago. Guess what arrived at Ray's summer estate in Florida today? The Mavic 3 drone that he won at Spin Up. So Captain Ray will be, hopefully he's got that thing up in the air tomorrow if weather permits.
I mean, congratulations, Captain Ray. That is so awesome. Yeah.
And Lon's confirming it does
take pictures. Yeah. Thanks, Lon.
So anyhow, if anybody
that kind of defeats it because I've already got drones that do good pictures, right?
Better pictures, yeah.
I don't need an FPV that does pictures.
And believe me, I'm not trying to down the drone at all. If anybody's if anybody's been on the fence about getting or not, jump on it. Save that 300, jump on that thing.
It's a heck of a buy. Yeah.
No, stop watching us old guys jabber here and go over and hit the buy button and get the thing or whatever.
Let me say this. I'll add one more comment. If I had not just bought that Mavic 3 and this thing went on sale,
you'd have been more tempted.
I probably would have bought it.
That pushed you over the edge. Yeah. But no, I mean,
I could just see you doing the what do you call it? The review on it, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking to the camera with your goggles on.
I thought you were going to say he's doing
a review. You're facing this way.
Yeah.
Or I thought you were going to say he's doing a review out in the canyon, and all of a sudden somebody comes up behind him and takes him, the goggles, everything away, whatever. He doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we're not down. I mean, I saw the drone. I mean, Michael Ray had it at Spin Up. DeMarco Moore had it. Thing flew great. I saw them do amazing things with it. In fact, DeMarco's is Lon's old unit or whatever. I mean, it flew great. I can't say a bad thing about it, except that, I don't think it's for me, but I'm not down the drone at all.
Yeah. You know what I'm worried about right now is I said those things. John Coopy will probably never talk to me again.
Well, he's a hardcore guy, so he doesn't really go for the DJI FPV drone. Hey, Uncle Bill's looking at, so where's the turkey? We're still basting it, Uncle Bill. We may have leftovers for next Monday's show if you.
No, actually, that's why DeMarco's late. He's eating in the green room right now.
Well, Lauren, there was a rumor that you were going to make a turducken.
No.
There's false internet rumors. So, does anybody have any more comments, or anybody in the chat have any more questions about the DJI FPV drone and the sale on that? I mean, the sale. We don't know how long that sale is going to last. Maybe it's a Black Friday.Maybe it's going to end on Cyber Monday or whatever, or the weekend. We have no idea the length of this sale. So again, if you're really interested in it, you better jump on it, because who knows, supplies could run short too at those prices. Oh, one other quick note: Johnny Drone Flyer just sent this for the show. He found the Apple MacBook Air, I think the Air, the M1 chip or whatever, he found on sale for $7.99 someplace. I couldn't see where the thing he was posting it from, whether that was Apple or I'm not sure, but yeah, that's a heck of a. I think the lowest I've seen that before is $849. So that's a heck of a deal. This isn't the new MacBook Pros. This is the Air, but it also has the M1 chip, and reportedly it does a great job with like 4K video and all. So, Johnny's saying it was Costco. He was saying the Air, and it's Costco. So if anybody's got a Costco nearby, you may want to consider that if you're looking for a good bargain on a laptop. So sorry I turned into This Week in Laptops here or This Week in Black Friday deals. But anyhow, what story do you want to move on to next, Marcus?
Well, geez, Ron, I mean, we could talk just a little bit about that Hubsan Ace if you want. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Last week we announced that the Hubsan had a new drone, the Hubsan Ace, on their website. But since that show, now not only do they have a Hubsan Ace, but they have a Hubsan Ace Pro Plus, which features a 1-inch sensor. It resembles the Mavic Air 1 in build, so it's not a 250-gram drone. It's a little bit more of a mid-size, and I believe it's going for is it $879, Marcus?
So I'm looking on Hubsan's website, not Hubsan US, but the only one that they have listed is one with that I'm seeing. I may be wrong. Is with 3 batteries, and it's over $1,000, $1,000. So let's put that as the equivalent of a DJI Air 2S, which I believe is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Lauren, is about $1,200, right? The Air 2S in the
a lot more kits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I guess the reason I say that, it's a lot of money for this drone, and it does have front and rear and downward facing sensors. I'm not sold on Hubsan's obstacle avoidance yet from the experience I had with the little one. And, also the experience that I've had with the sensor on that Mini Pro, they're still working the bugs out of that. So this is a drone with this 1-inch sensor. I would, hopefully they can work some of the bugs out of it before it gets in consumers' hands. My advice would be, if you were interested in it at all, wait for a few people to get some reviews out on it and see. Now, Hubsan.
Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, there's no flight video or anything like that.
Nothing. That I've seen either.
Pictures on the website, it's the specs. So
Ace
we
Pro
have no release date or anything like that.
Now Hubsan got a hold of me, and they are going to send me for a review a Hubsan Xeno Ace SE, which will be a smaller sensor version. And I'm trying to remember if that one even has obstacle avoidance. I don't think it does. I'll have to look and see. However, I'll take a look at that one, and maybe that'll give us an idea of whether this 1-inch sensor, of course, that's cool. I mean, but boy, at that price point, I would struggle just not to get the known quantity, which is the DJI Air 2S, which is a phenomenal, just unbelievable piece of tech.
Yeah, I mean, folks, we're not promoting this drone yet because we don't know enough about it. We're just acknowledging it's a thing and it has interesting specs. But we're at no way we're promoting these drones. But Bob, before we move off of Hubsan here, you received another Hubsan SE recently, Marcus, and you've been able to do a couple test flights with I believe it's the Hubsan Mini Pro SE. Did I get that name correct?
Yeah. So let me back up just a little bit. So I just pulled up the Ace SE, and it does not have any kind of obstacle avoidance. So
okay,
I wanted to set that straight.
Okay.
Yeah. So the little Mini SE, I have enjoyed that drone, and my first flight with it was a good one. I got good range, and it flew great. I took it out today. One of the things I thought on the video, I flew it on a cloudy day. I thought the video was a little soft, so I wanted to turn up the sharpness a little bit. When I flew today, I turned up the sharpness, and I probably turned it up too much because the video looked awful grainy. So I had it out on a sunny day today. So I want to try that again. But I can tell you, all of the intelligent flight modes work really good on it. The tracking is phenomenal. Hubsan has always done a good job with tracking. It has both active track and GPS tracking, and it works great.
Now, what's the price point on this Mini SE, Marcus?
The Mini SE is available. It's on sale on Amazon right now for $314. So it's
this is the Hubsan.
The Hubsan Mini
on
SE.
Amazon.
Hubsan Zeno Mini SE is on Amazon right now for $314.10
with 2-day Prime shipping if you're a member.
And that, by the way, that sale price is only if you're a Prime member, because I've had people look it up that are not Prime members, and it just shows up at regular price. But the cool thing about ordering a drone like that off of Amazon is if you don't like it, obviously you just send it back and you get your money back.
Zigzag Ground Zero wants a range test on the SE.
Yeah. You send. I think Zigzag Ground Zero. You might want to send one of those over to our friend Dustin Dunnell in Hawaii.
He'll do the best range test in the business. Yeah. And he has had some Hubsan drones before, so it's a chance he could get one of these.
That's very possible. Yeah.
Lauren, do you have any thoughts or know anything about any of these Xenos?
No, just watching Mark's adventures on them. So
it's entertainment, right?
There you go. Yeah.
And remember, folks, for just a little bit more than buying the Ace Pro Plus, you can get the FPV, the DJI FPV drone.
Hey, there you go.
Part price, whatever. Or look, say 3 Mini SE Hubsan Mini SEs are more than the FPV drone now. You can look at it in those terms.
Yeah, I mean, listen. The bottom line is Hubsan's got a ways to go, and they need to show that they can build a solid product. So, it's just a ways to go. And at that if it was like at a really cheap bargain price, maybe you could justify it that way. But I don't know.
Yeah, Marcus, you and I said off air, Hubsan needs a win. They put out a lot of losses, and they need a win. And if the Mini SE is the win, even a small win's a win.
I heard Hubsan's changing their name to Mason.
Okay, I'm not following.
Yeah, we lost in that one, Lauren.
Well, if you buy enough of them, you got enough bricks to make a wall.
There you go.
Look, Canadian humor, folks.
Hey, well, so I got to ask you, Lauren. I don't know what your association is still with that drone store that you used to work at, but they were talking about being a Hubsan dealer for a while. Did they ever do it?
Yep. Oh yeah,
they did. Oh.
Yeah, Hubsan, Autel, DJI.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably wildly successful now with that Hubsan line.
Well, let's put it this way: haven't had much luck with the Mini Pros either. So
nobody has.
And basically, we ordered them in, and we're not ordering anymore. So
I wouldn't.
Smart move.
You know what? The little drone flies great, but the problem is, the reason you buy a camera drone is for the camera, right? And if the camera doesn't do what it should, then what's the point?
Hey, I want to shout out Jackrabbit FPV. Marcus and I both got to meet Jackrabbit at Spin Up this year. It was a pleasure. He's a great guy. It was great hanging out with him for a couple of days, and glad to see you in the chat tonight. And speaking of FPV, this is a short story here, but Emax, who is a company that's known for making affordable kind of beginner FPV drones, they've have a series of drones. I forget. I didn't write this. Tinyhawk. They've had Tinyhawk 1, Tinyhawk 2, among others, and now they have a Tinyhawk 3. and it's selling for around $299, which is good deal more than some of their other products. But this one, it looks like it has a better controller, and I guess it's just a better drone all around. That's $299 at most of the online retailers. And Kelly Shore has already done a excellent review on it over in his Ready Set Drone channel. So if you're looking for if $999 is too much for the DJI FPV drone, maybe $299 for a little starter FPV kit is could be more what you look for. And this also could be, I guess, a good holiday gift item too at that price. You guys see this drone yet, or?
Actually, it's funny about it. I mean, go ahead, Lauren.
It's funny we're talking about FPV and stuff because, saying I'm not going to fly and stuff. And as I was mentioning in the pre-show there, we picked up a new sponsor for the group. And that sponsor, that's what he does. He sells and builds FPV.
Oh,
nothing wrong with it. I like watching other people fly FPV. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have. I saw Maddie's Drone Worlds in here. You should see Maddie flying FPV at that field at Spin Down the Sunday after Spin Up. I mean, Maddie looked like he'd been flying for years. He
impressed the heck out of everybody. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. That Tinyhawk. I hear people talk about him, but I don't have any experience with him either. Ron, I think you had one for a while, right? And you
well, I purchased like that kind of one of those bind and fly things, and I was trying to buy into my controller, and I could never get it bound up, so I just sold it. So yeah.
I understand. Listen, I'll probably end up with an FPV drone someday, but it's very likely to say DJI on it.
Maybe DJI FPV drone 2 or whatever, or
yeah.
So,
or if they drop that one, another couple $100.
Yeah. So let's see. Maddie's saying the THC is worth it. Better goggles, better radio, all around, great starter kit for sure. Yeah, I mean Kelly really liked it. I think Kelly thought the weak point was the goggles, but the controller definitely looked less food grade than the previous model on the Tinyhawk. And I think Maddie started with like a Tinyhawk or like kind of a beginner FPV, and he's really advanced at this point.
Well, so Ron, we should you brought up Kelly Shores. He gave you and I kind of a little talk on how we could get started in FPV, and basically he really promoted the DJI digital system. And I'm trying to remember the GEP RC something or other drone is what he recommended to us. And he said, it's a great way to start. So
yeah, it's a short video clip, so it's on the DroneNation, recorded videos, and because we asked him about the digital and analog, and he said he'd go right to digital. And the mention that too, this Tinyhawk is analog, because Kelly even did a comparison between it and a digital one, and for people like us, we talk about breakup on our camera drones. You should see the breakup on these analog FPV drones. I mean, it even makes what we think is a poor camera drone look good as far as breakups. And
so Maddie is telling us it's the JEP RC rocket, and he says
digital. Kelly was recommending to us,
yeah.
And Third Eye View.
Rob is saying
the same thing. Yeah, thank you guys. Rob was staying there when Kelly was telling us that. So
that's right, he was.
He was right. He was right there.
Yeah.
So hey, welcome in JS Enterprise. We already rung a Jackrabbit. Greg Pittman's in here with us tonight, of course. Mike Hyrenek, do you think I'm saying that right?
Yeah, Rennick.
Mike Rennick's in here with us. Mike's always supports all our videos. Sergio's in here with us from the Fly Zone guys. Mr. JRC's is with us tonight. Drone Shots, of course, he's always in here with us. Thanks for your ongoing support. Of course, Johnny Drone Flyer couldn't do it without him. Joe Blaylock, we got to meet at Spin Up, incredible pilot, whatever. He's in here tonight. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Lauren's back, and I'm glad because I want to go to a story that it kind of got Lauren a little hotter than collar on his Facebook post on DroneNation a couple of days back. Lauren got upset a little bit here. Now, we of course we know that we know DJI, of course, they released, the not only the Mavic 3, but a new controller. And instead of calling it smart controller, now all of a sudden it's called the RC Pro. And that's a controversy. Why change the name? But that's not the main thing here. So anyhow, but of course, a new smart controller, RC Pro, comes out, and DJI states that it's only compatible with the Mavic 3. And of course, there's a lot of questions about, well, will it be compatible with more drones eventually, and why is it compatible with the Air 2S, since they're both on the OcuSync 3? Well, anyhow, so that that goes on for about a week or whatever, and all of a sudden, I think it's Osita released a thing that they sell the Air 2S in a kit now that comes with the smart controller, but they've run out of the smart controller to fill that kit, so they replaced it with the RC Pro in that kit, and after saying it didn't work with the Air 2S, now they put in a kit with an Air 2S. And I think Lauren was basically kind of calling bull in this whole thing of saying it will work, it won't work. Lauren, could you break the story down better than I did there?
Yeah. I had very serious, long conversation and a little bit heated sometimes with DJI because I'm calling bullshit on them. Because...
we just got demonetized.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I think
I said it first, Lauren. It's fine.
Okay. But anyway, to make a long story short, when I pointed that out, I said, I thought you guys said that this won't work back and forth between the two. And he said, well, the one we're including with the Air 2S will only work with the Air 2S. It will not work with any other drones. And I said, serious? I said, so you're going to expect somebody to spend big dollars on a smart controller that's only going to work with one drone? I said, no. But anyways.
So what we're saying here, they're purposely locking it down to just one drone.
Yeah, I think I've found a workaround that I'm going to be testing tomorrow to get the Mavic 3 to work with the old controllers. Wow. I'm going to be testing it out tomorrow. We'll see. So
there is a saying about that kind of a deal. They call it talking out of both sides of your face. Yeah, I think that's what DJI was doing in that situation.
Absolutely. Like if you've seen our little chat back and forth, majority of it was on Twitter and some was on the phone, but it's they kept changing their stance on things. It's like, well, you got to understand that the old controller doesn't do OcuSync 3. And I said, well, wait a minute, the old controller works with the Air 2S, which is OcuSync 3. So, well, yeah, but this is OcuSync 3 Plus. And I said, well, then just change the programming on the controller. I said, because that's why you guys went with a smart controller, is because everything is programmable. And I said, just admit there's a lot of people out there. And I said, no, that at CES 2020, you guys had told me that this will be the last controller that you'll ever need. Well, apparently not.
Yeah. And well, I have to tell you that smart controller was pretty frustrating for me.
And as Lon says, like the old smart controller is definitely got its limitations. Like it was way underpowered right from the start, and I know that, but to me, it's more the principle of next time when you bring out hardware, bring it out on the high end. Don't bring it out on the low end. Make it so it's something that's going to last more than 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
And also, any idea, I had speculation, why was it called the Smart Controller in Generation 1, and now why is it called the RC Pro in Generation 2?
Because they don't want the correlation between the Smart Controller 1 and Smart Controller 2. Because then people will say, well, why can't you just make the Smart Controller 1 do this?
And now that makes sense to me.
Okay.
it's a clean break so that you're not saying, hey, why should I buy this new one? You should be able to make my old one better. But there's hardware limitations on the old one,
Yeah. To be fair, everybody that has used the RC Pro has talked about what a phenomenal piece of tech it is. Everybody that I've seen just loves it, flying their Mavic 3 with it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good controller. There's no argument about it.
Better be for $1,200, huh?
Yeah. Folks, I'm glad to interrupt the show here. We have our fearless Monday Night Forecaster expert coming in. He's at an undisclosed location tonight. It even looks like he's in disguise here. Welcome in, DeMarco.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing?
Good. You did a little bit of the disguise there tonight. You got the hat on, and
I just brought the suitcases in from the car, and I'm sitting here in the lobby. So people looking at me funny since I'm looking at my phone talking. Hey, chat.
How's the weather in Chicago?
It is chilly.
Oh boy.
I had to put my gloves on. I had to take the tags off my gloves since I haven't used them in 10 years.
Oh wow.
Since I've been in Arkansas.
Now, how's the wind feel when it blows off the lake there in Chicago?
Nippy. Yeah. Nippy. Hey, Lauren and Marcus, how you guys doing?
Doing good, DeMarco. Nice to see you.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, too. So, I know I'm late though. Sorry about that. We actually got a late start this morning. Like we went to leave, and the battery on our van was dead.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Telluride, and I was going to call baloney on that.
No, I mean I couldn't believe it too. Couldn't believe it though, because we had to wait for AutoZone to actually open up though and go and
buy a new battery.
Yeah. But we made it though. So
how long were you on the road today?
9.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and 9.5 hours up of this. Are we there yet? Literally.
Oh, yeah. Tell the folks you had 9.5 hours, three little kids in the car, right?
So stop asking me.
Yeah. Are we there yet, Daddy?
Yeah. But listen, I'm sorry. I don't want to hold you guys up.
No, we got to get you real quick here before you, if you go for a second. We got a big game tonight. We have the New York Giants, who are 3-6, and they're at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 3-6. It looks like Tampa's given 11 points away tonight, and of course, we know that Tampa has the great Tom Brady, who's won 5, 6, however many Super Bowls. But we know the Giants. We have Barkley returning tonight from injury, so it's not as easy to pick as it may seem, DeMarco.
Yeah, I saw that though. So I'm gonna go out on a weak limb here and pick the Tampa Bay Bucs to win the game 27-13.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a pretty good pick. I don't know this. I haven't checked the score yet on purpose.
I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't either.
So I'm sure somebody in the chat will help us out.
What are you thinking, that Lauren? Is that a good pick?
Yeah.
Not a clue.
Well, I mean, they do.
Go CFL. Go CFL.
I was going to say, Lauren, but Canada's the only other country that has our style of football, right?
True. Yeah. True.
Yeah, you're the only country I think that has our football.
Yeah.
So
I should have worn my Riders jersey.
Yeah, there you go.
Who?
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
I know.
No. Actually, you know what's funny? I've watched football games from all over North America, and it's almost impossible not to watch a game and see one Riders jersey.
It's good. Yeah,
that's great.
Good.
They've got the biggest fan base of any team in Canada.
Huh?
Oh, cool.
I mean, I'm going way back when I was a young man. I forget what team he played for, but I used to watch the Warren Moon games when he played up in Canada back in the '80s before he came to the NFL. But going way back.
What we're saying here, Lauren, is let me get this straight: the Saskatchewan Roughriders are the equivalent in the United States would be the
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned something tonight, folks. So,
Yeah.
hey, you missed the story, DeMarco. We already covered the DJI FPV drone. I mean, you're the only one here that has the thing, and I saw you fly that spin up. I mean, you whizzed that thing all around like you were Joshua Barwell or something like that out there.
Yeah. I went through those loops, those hoops too.
Yeah. They had 2 hoops set up in the middle of the field, and DeMarco, I think he put it through the hoops as much as anybody, and he almost made a sound because you catch just a little bit of the hoop going through, so you knew when DeMarco was hitting those. I think, hey, let me get my terminology, hitting the gates, right? FPV drones call them gates, right?
I think I nipped a couple of them. Yeah. No, in fact, I saw that the base package is now $9.99. And then my uncle just sent me a text a couple of minutes ago saying he saw the Flymore kit for $15.50 or $15.27. He saw it.
Well,
I mean, Kevin bought one.
No. He sent me a text. He sent me a text asking if that was a good price or not. When I told him, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Flyborough kit, when I saw it, it's $299 extra, and that hadn't been discounted. So you take $300 and put it to $999, and so basically you could get the Flyborough kit for $12.99.
And that's what you would do
separately. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So anyhow, you think that's a good deal for anybody who's been on the fence about not getting it because of the price?
I would say yeah, but I mean yes, but the one battery, like you need more than one battery because batteries last about 6 minutes.
Right.
I mean, I need at least 3. I mean,
you're never going to get any practice with one battery.
No. In fact, one's a joke. You'd be mad if you did it for one.
Hey, so DeMarco, seriously, what are your impressions of that drone? Are you enjoying it? Are you having a good time with it?
I am. In fact, Johnny and I were actually talking about this. For me, although one day I think I will really get into FPV, right now I want nothing to do with the soldering and piece and mount stuff together. Not that I'm totally against it though, but I don't have the time to do it. I just don't, or the patience. I mean, so that drone fits what I wanted to do for me perfectly. It's fast too. It is fast. So,
see, now that's the part of it that has me going. That I think I would just. No, I'm not kidding, Lauren. You're laughing.
It is.
I'm telling you, to fly at 80 miles an hour. Not yes, but hell yes.
But here's what's funny about it. It's like you would never fly, well, at least me anyway, would never fly a camera drone 6 feet off the ground or 3 feet off the ground going 60 miles an hour. Where that you could easily, So I mean,
till that tree came along.
Yeah, or a little kid walking through the neighborhood though. That almost got me once too. Yeah, the cows in the back too got me. But no, I think it is. Is it the best thing out? No, but for what I need it for and what you probably use for, it's fine. Yeah.
Hey, did you see what Johnny is saying in the chat? I don't know if you can see the chat, DeMarc.
Hold on, let me look. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean,
well,
no, I'm sorry.
Thanks for all that information on that piece. Since you're the only one in the panel that has it.
Yeah, if you actually wanted something different and wanted something fast and fun, I would recommend it though. Yeah, with more than one battery, definitely, because that one battery is going to be done. I mean, it'll take you longer to actually set up than you were flying. So yeah.
And that's the other question that I have for you, DeMarco. I know that there's a lot. You got to charge the batteries in the goggles. You got to have the batteries charged in the controller, and then of course the drone. Of course, I guess if you think about it, the goggles kind of replace your phone or whatever, your mobile device that you're putting in, whatever. But is it a big hassle? Let's set up. How long does it take you to go from you get there, pulling it out of the case and flying?
Maybe 5 minutes. And then here's the thing too, Marcus, is you don't have to use the goggles far as wear them. So like there's a USB-C out from the goggles that connects to your phone, and then like you can use your phone too.
I've seen Mikey do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen Mikey do it. Hey, real quick, DeMarco, Kevin Moore's in the chat.
I see that. Hey, Unc. Yeah, I see that.
Uncle Kevin, he said he was just telling us a minute ago that you bought the FPV drone.
No, he's actually south of me, so he lives in Moni, which is about 30 miles south of Chicago. So I passed him on the way up here. So
Yeah,
I'm in the city right now. So, but
Okay.
Marcus and Ron, you should pull the trigger.
Should
It's only $999. Come on.
yeah. What? No, hold it. Stop right there, Mr. Moore. You just got through telling us that you got to have more than one battery, so you're going to throw
Yeah.
another $300 at the.
Well, here,
By
Lauren can
the
actually,
time I get the thing outfitted, it'll cost more than the Mavic 3.
and I wouldn't say that much. Well,
Yeah, pretty close.
Oh, Lauren, too. Before we go, Lauren, when the Mavic 3 was actually coming out, I was hoping that you were wrong with that price, and I was hoping against you though, but like you were right. So hats off to you, sir.
Well, to say I might have a little bit of info that.
Yeah. I mean, because
Yeah. Speaking of the Mavic 3, do you have to go to DeMarco? Do you?
no, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Speaking of the Mavic 3, now that all the NDAs are over with and all the secrets are out, what's your real thoughts on the Mavic 3, Lauren? It's not only as far as a drone, as far as it flying good well and all that, but as far as the camera, and especially from you, how well what difference the Micro Four Thirds make in your photos over the 1-inch sensor?
I enjoy it, but I'm still reserved until we see the January firmware update, because I don't like certain things. Like, have you noticed the color shift between video and photo?
No, I don't. I've got 4 flights in.
Yeah, there's quite a color shift between the two, and which is kind of weird. So again, that's something that I think they can fix in a firmware upgrade.
Now, you don't like the photos as much as the video? Is that the color in the photos?
Oh, I like the photos. I like the photos,
but not the color in the video.
It's just there shouldn't be a color shift between photo and video, right? You're using the same thing. So
now, my only observation would be that the colors seem more saturated in the video than the pictures. Is that what you're seeing?
Well, one's more of kind of a little orange, and one's a little bit more blue. Next time you're flying, do a video and then stop, take a picture of the same thing so that you can kind of compare it.
And this isn't a standard color profile, of course.
Yeah. And the other thing, they've got to get that RAW available at all times instead of just certain times. Because like, for example, if you go to your Explore mode, there's no more RAW available.
Yeah,
You're right. In pictures, it's only JPEG in Explorer mode, and it's only the standard color profile in video.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, I'm gonna not really make any kind of a judgment because I know what's supposed to be coming and what we actually see coming could be two different things. So if we get everything that we're supposed to, then I'll be a happy camper, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mark Fisher has brought this up, and I talked to Lauren before, and this is a pet peeve, but like in the Go4 app, in photo mode, you could choose JPEG, or you could choose just to take raw photos. That's probably the third option of both of them in there. But in the Go4 app for the Mavic 3, you do not have the choice of not taking JPEGs.
No.
which a lot of us that work with raw photos, we just don't want all the extra baggage of those JPEGs being there all the time on our memory cards. Excuse me.
So you must have been talking about the Mavic 2 then when you were talking about Go 4, Ron.
Yeah, on the Mavic 2 series, we had the option of only taking raw photos.
Right.
Yeah.
And on the Mavic 3, because they're using the Go 4, we do not have the option to not include JPEGs with the RAWs. Sorry, I got to cough it out. Take a minute.
Yeah. Maybe you need that good glass of water. Well, hey,
depending on what mode you're in, you've got either JPEG or JPEG and RAW, and in some cases you don't have a choice of what it's shooting in.
Do you think they will be bringing raw photos to the smaller half-inch sensor camera with the January update, Lauren?
I'm hoping that they do. It's rumored, but I can't confirm it.
Right. Hey, a quick. Marcus says he knows the answer to this one, but I'll just throw it out there to the panel. When you're picking your your video resolution, 1080p, 4K, 5K, there's an option on there that says C 4K. What is the difference between regular 4K and a C 4K option that's on the Mavic 3?
You want to go, Lauren, or you want me to?
Go for it.
C4K is evidently it's a kind of a cinema version that some of the pros use, and it's just a tiny change in the resolution. So 4096 by 2160 in that C4K, and then regular 4K is what we all know as 3840 by 2160.
So it's a larger,
just a tad more resolution. I guess you'd call it true 4K, right?
Okay. That's good information. I mean, I've tried both, and I did notice when I switched live, when I switched from 4K to Cinema 4K, my histogram changed. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, but I saw the histogram change slightly when I changed formats.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why that would be.
And maybe it could have just been a light change at that exact moment too. So, no, that's good information. And I wrote a few other things down here that maybe Lauren or Lon out in the panel or somebody can help us with. Okay, when you're in the Mavic 3, when you're in the camera settings for video, you see a header that says video bit rate, and you have the option to choose CBR or VBR. Do we know what the difference between those video bit rate options are?
I can't say I've seen that. Again, I'm primarily photos.
Yep, I understand. Yep. So, anybody out there in the chats that have any idea? I think here I can tell you. I think it defaults to CBR. If you don't do anything, it's set on CBR. So, yeah.
I'll bet you Lon can tell us.
Yeah. Okay. Lon's got it already. Here we go. Constant bit rate or variable bit rate. Okay, now Lon. But then now I'm stuck in the thing. Well, what's the difference? What do I want or whatever?
Well, constant stays the same, Ron.
But why would I want a constant bit rate over a variable bit rate or vice versa? So that's like a oh, here we go. Greg Pittman helped out. The VBR is compressed. So generally we don't want compressed unless there's another benefit of compressing. Maybe it makes for a tiny file, a smaller file that is more manageable in your devices. So
it could very well be.
Well,
lower rate compressed. So
and I wrote down here, we already discussed the JPEG plus RAW. Okay, another we've already discussed this too. I wrote down in the Explorer mode you have JPEG only and MPEG 4 only on that smaller zoom camera. And here's something, Lauren, that's it kind of caught me by surprise. It's probably coming in January, but a lot of drones now, and we'll say the Air 2S in particular for video, It has, your standard video color profile. It has D-Log, and then it usually has HLG, which is for kind of high dynamic range. But the Mavic 3 has D-Log, but it doesn't have HLG yet. I wonder if that's coming in the January firmware update.
Again, can't confirm it,
but it's possible.
Yeah.
And we know a couple people. Rick Smith, he's been testing the beta version of the Mavic 3 software. It's come out in January. So I mean, he actually has. I don't know how much you can say, but he said he's had it on air. So I'm not giving out any secrets.
I just was going to say, Lon makes a good point there that if you've got if your card isn't as high speed, then that VBR could help you.
Oh, that makes sense, Lon. Thank you for that. Yeah. And speaking of cards, I know Marcus has already given a recommendation on a card. Lauren, do you have any memory card recommendations for the Mavic 3?
Hold my spot.
Yeah, hold the spot. So, Marcus, while he's away, tell him a little bit about your recommendation for a memory card for the Mavic.
Well, it was actually
you have a higher bitrate card, is what you have, right?
That's exactly right. And Lon recommended it not last Saturday, but the Saturday before on Mikey's show. It's a Samsung, if I can remember the name, I got it right here. Samsung Pro Plus, and it has a write speed up to 120 megabits, as opposed to that Extreme Pro SanDisk card.
The red one.
There you
go. He has the red one.
Yeah, now that one, if I know Lauren, is a little different. That's the kind that has the extra contacts on the back, right, Lauren?
No. You're talking about UHS 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is UHS 1.
So that's just the Extreme?
Yeah.
Understood.
These were on sale. So 128 gig ones, and I picked them up for $19.95 a piece.
That's what I'm using. That's what I'm using also, Lauren, for no other purpose than I had one around previously to getting the Mavic 3.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a question in chat here from Intel Maxwell multi rotors, and he's wondering if the Mavic 3 has dual IMU and compass.
That's a good one.
No, DJI has gone away from that for quite a while. Like Mavic 2 Pro, I think, was the last drone that had that. And they've gone away with it. And their reasoning that they've said is that they've become so reliable now, they don't need the backups. So,
okay.
Hey, Ron, do you see Ross's comment there on VBR and CBR, Australia panoramas?
I got it. Yeah. Okay. CBR is more consistent, reliable for time-sensitive encoding, and VBR produces higher quality results. The CBR is the best option for live streaming, whereas constrained VBR is better for on-demand video. Okay. That's a good explanation. And again, I think it defaults to CBR if you don't change it.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good deal.
And we know this drone has the live streaming option in it that was first introduced to the Fly app a couple weeks back for the Air. So has anybody tried the live streaming option for in the Mavic 3 yet? Uh-oh. You're doing good so far, DeMarco.
Barely.
Captain Ray just sent me that, so figured I better put it on.
Captain Ray's very helpful.
Yeah.
Who knows? Captain Ray's in Florida. He may be at the Bucs game.
Yeah, the box, even the box.
But do we know anybody yet who has tried live streaming with the Mavic 3 yet?
I do
I
not.
haven't seen videos on that yet.
I haven't seen anything yet. I see the option in the software. And here, Lon's responding to Bill Thompson's comment about people are saying that the update for the Mavic 3 won't be out until after the Chinese New Year, and Lon's kind of calling a bull on it.
Yeah, so Chinese New Year's in February. DJI is saying that we'll get this update in January. So does that mean that the Chinese January is really March? Let's start a rumor.
And Lon's fact checking whether CBR is the higher Kodak. He'll be right back. Lon's always doing the research for us. That's why we pay him the big bucks.
He knows the stuff. He does.
Hey, Ray Kelly is asking.
Yeah, Ray's got a question about the SanDisk Extreme, a good micro SD card for the Mavic 3. Now, does he mean the I'm going to call it the old school orange one? I can't.
So that's the Extreme with the gold bottom, and then the Extreme Pro is black. Has the black.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't have one handy here to show.
So I think the Extreme.
Lauren already showed it. Sorry, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yep, there you go. Hold a little closer so you can see the red, Lauren. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah. See,
yeah.
There. Whoop, wrong side. There's the microchip there.
Yeah.
And then you got your adapter over here. So.
Yeah, and I have used it in my 4 flights, and I haven't seen any issues. So, Ray, if you haven't purchased the card yet,
I'm trying, DeMarco.
Yeah, spend a couple extra bucks and get the red one probably. But the orange one, I haven't tried the orange one yet. It may work. Does DeMarco have something to say, Marcus?
No.
You sure? You sure?
I have a little remark that I'd like to throw in there.
Go ahead.
Okay. So when we're talking about these cards, what we're interested in is the transfer rate. Lauren, correct? We're talking about how fast that drone can write video to the card. That is an important aspect. So now, the SanDisk Extreme writes at 90 megabits per second. The Extreme Pro, the red and black one, Lauren, look at that card, but I believe it's 100 megabits per second. The write speed, not the read speed. Mm-hmm. And this, the reason that I bought this one here, and thank you to Lon for putting me onto it. It writes at 120 megabits per second, so it's just a little bit faster. And you can buy it at Best Buy or Amazon for $30 for 128 megabit card. And what I'll add to it is I visibly saw the difference between the SanDisk Extreme and this Samsung card. I could tell that the video coming off the Mavic 3 was smoother using that Samsung card.
Okay.
And it's only about $10 more than what Lauren said the red card costs. So it's definitely something to consider, Captain Ray.
But also, to be fair, and Lauren, you can confirm this too, I believe that DJI recommends the SanDisk Extreme or the SanDisk Extreme Pro. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because Heinrich did a video on that where he showed what that's the card DJI is recommending, the two, the yellow and the red and the orange. So, but we got a report here from Mickey here. He said one guy posted that he lost his Mavic 3 sitting. He lost the signal and eventually flew away. Maybe he's talking about the same story that John Flynn reported to us about the guy with the Mavic 3 fly away. It could be all the same story because John said the guy was talking about on a live stream someplace.
Flew away, man.
Yeah, now that would be, So and Lauren, I'd love to hear you chime in on this. I hear people talking about flyaways all the time. I've never had a drone fly away, and I fly some pretty cheap drones. Some of those drones that get sent to me, I was kind of question that, particularly a drone like a Mavic 3. I don't know. A flyaway, really? I can believe.
We're talking about the same incident. You'll see the guys took him to task on that one. It's like that's in the commercial drone group. But if you look, just about every post that guy puts up, and he's supposed to be a commercial guy, but he's posting about all these issues that he's having with all his different drones. And somehow The drones are different, but the operator's still the same.
Yeah.
So that's the common denominator with me. You know,
Maddie is putting the
I
guy's
can't
name
speak
up here.
because I wasn't there to see it, but usually,
Yeah.
you know, it's if you have that many issues, you want to look for the problem. Look in the mirror. You know, that's
True.
just my thoughts.
True.
If we were talking about the same guy, but
Hey, I want to. Lon kind of corrected or made a thing. He says I stand corrected. The CBR does give a better bit rate than the VBR. Apparently, has better video results. So okay, we kind of got that nailed down. So thanks again, Lon, for doing the research and the homework on that one. And Mike Wright says he expecting Captain Ray to do a live stream with a Mavic 3 tomorrow. So everybody get their popcorn and soda pop ready for Ray's live stream tomorrow from the drone.
Yeah, so I looked at that A-Tort photography, and I'm looking at his videos, and I'm not seeing a flyaway video. So, Maddie, if you have that link, that'd be cool if you could put that.
Yeah,
link.
somebody, John Flynn reported he was live. I don't know if he said he was live on his show, but he was live on some YouTube someplace show just before we went live with our show talking about the flyaway. So yeah.
No, here it is. I see it. He's got 939 views on it. He's Cine Flyaway. It says $5,000 gone. I see the video now.
I hope he had the. What's the if you have the DJI Cam Refresh Plus? What's the I know they had wording in there. You can pay a certain price for a replacement, even with a flyaway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is included in Refresh now, and you have to bind your controller to the drone, so that keeps people from saying that their buddy's drone flew away or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, this guy evidently had a flyaway. So, and I'm looking at the pictures here. He looks like he is in a big city someplace. So.
Mickey's saying that DJI is replacing it without Care Refresh, supposedly.
What was his name?
It's A-Tort Aerials. ATORT.
Yeah,
Here, I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the chat here, guys. Hang on.
Hey, guys, I got to run though. The wife's calling me.
Yeah, DeMarco, thanks for joining us on the road there, at an undisclosed location. And send the wife and the family our happiest holiday wishes for a good Thanksgiving and a good family reunion.
I surely will. And to my friends in the chat, my friends on the panel, happy Thanksgiving. And I'll see you guys next week. All righty?
Thanks,
right
DeMarco.
back at you, DeMarco.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for stopping in. Mr. Rodak is saying that all his functions are not working on, I believe that's on his Mavic 3. Is that correct? Well, I got news. All of my functions aren't working either on mine.
Lon's saying $750 for a flyaway with Care Refresh, which I guess if it's a city that costs $5,000, that's not too bad.
That's what $750. It's yeah. Of course, you got to factor into that what you paid for the refresh anyway. Yeah. So Ross is saying it is Chicago.
Yeah. Maybe DeMarco will see it on top of the hotel.
Maybe DeMarco will find it. Yeah.
Well, I think we got a lot of things established with the Mavic 3. I mean, we heard Lauren's impressions of it. Marcus, you've got quite a few flights in with it now. I mean, I know it's too early to do a full review, but what's your early thoughts?
I love it. What else could you say? It's those legendary DJI flight controls. The thing, it just flies like a dream. It's so precise, so accurate. And, I don't want people to mistake that the zoom capabilities on the thing, because really it's just cropping the sensor till you get to 4 times, and then it switches to the 7x on the top camera. And if you're, I'm going to kind of echo what Lon was saying earlier. they call it Explorer mode for a reason. I think it's quite often it's for looking to see, hey, I want to fly over there. Now, Ron, I saw some amazing pictures on your video today when you were looking towards Atlantic City, etc. You got some really good views with that 7 by zoom. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's only going to get better as they release all the functions on it and getting all that stuff going. Man, it's just another iconic drone. The video on it is just stunning. I mean, it's just it's stunning.
Yeah, and I've only flown it 4 times, but I concur that even on the first flight, not only look at the FPV feed, but look at the memory card. I think it's you could just see that the video quality and the picture quality were better than the Mavic 2 Pro. I mean, it didn't take, I don't know, didn't take me, pixel peeping too hard to see that it was an increase in, definition and everything. So, and it flies brilliantly. I mean, if you watch my latest video, I did have a couple gimbal down issues with sport mode into the wind, but only once. I've seen a crooked horizon once that quickly fixed itself. So, I mean, there's a couple small cons in there, but these small cons, almost every drone has them. So, and there were kind of one-time things that I could not replicate. So, we do have to call on task that, it was disappointing to us and a lot of other people that all the smart intelligent flight modes were not there in launch. And we gave Hubsan a hard time for it. So I guess we can't leave DJI off the hook totally for this. But I think Mark's had this conversation proudly. And Lauren, I don't know if you'll agree with this, Don. I think it was better to not include all those intelligent flight features and have all the basics working correctly rather than releasing everything and then maybe having some important things like, say, obstacle avoidance or some kind of a flight characteristic not working fully or whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
I think Lon is kind of has his own view, right? That he's commenting there.
Yeah.
The video.
I'm gonna go to the lines real fast. I want to just shout out Barry Markowitz, who's in towards California. He's at Hoodman, and he said they're committed to latest drone hoods, laying pads, and memory cards. And he invested Hoodman ultra fast CF Express cards. Barry's a photographer who's been dealing with memory cards for real cameras for years. So thanks for that, Barry. And I want to shout out Barry. He posted a great story. I think I put the link in DroneNation that our friends over at Insta360 are having a big Black Friday promotion, and Barry has a real good story, a breakdown on all the prices over there. But let me go to and have a great holiday, Thanksgiving holiday, Barry. Let me go to the lines.
Please do, Barry.
Lon's quick review of the Mavic 3. You want to read this one off, Mark?
Yeah, he goes, the video quality is insane, and I'll let anybody else here figure out what that acronym stands for. Autonomous flight modes. But I have to tell you, I do like those autonomous flight modes, but that's neither here nor there. What I will say is that DJI told us that they weren't going to be ready until January. So I guess if I didn't like it, I shouldn't have bought the drone, right?
Or wait until January to buy it.
Or waited until January. But I think the biggest part of his comment, and I totally agree, is the video quality is just unbelievable. I remember, Ron, thinking that the Air 2S with that 1-inch sensor was the best video I've ever seen. Well, I take it back now because I just, even in 4K on this Mavic 3, man, oh man, does it look good. It's just really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. When you fly, it did. Like Lon told me this in a chat one time. He said when you fly, you won't want to fly anything else. And I mean, it kind of is that good, right, guys? I mean,
I totally agree.
I mean, Lauren, do you like flying as much as Marcus and I? Just the way it handles and.
I think so. Yeah.
And we discussed earlier, you fly in a lot of wind sometimes too, so you need a drone that's stable in the wind up there, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I also kind of set my limits, and I don't go beyond the limits. It's kind of like, well, I can probably make it. No, it's like, here's what the limits are, and I stick to them. So.
Yeah, yeah. Fly with the
So,
plan.
Ron, obviously you're one of those people that have. Hey, there's Sean's in the. We want to shout out Sean in the chat here, World of Oz. But Ron, what I want to ask you about, and I'm sure Ross will have something to say about this when he gets his as well. But I know you're a big fan of that Autel Evo 2 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
You've had nothing but really good things to say about that drone. If you're looking, and this is just a thumbnail thing, don't expect it. We don't expect you to nail you to the cross on this one, but comparing the video quality, what's your gut feeling?
I know it's already. I see a lot of discussion out there with the Alltel people are very vocal and defending the Evo 2 Pro as being as good or still better in low light. And especially with the zoom capabilities and whatever. I think early days, but I think I prefer the the Mavic 3 over for video and pictures. But it's not knocking that drone at all. I mean, it's basically $500 cheaper, and I don't know if the Mavic 3 is $500 better, but maybe it is. It's got early days.
I know I keep coming back to Lon, but I want to agree with what he's saying here on his last comment. The Mavic 3, I mean, even a ham-fisted flyer like me can do some amazing maneuvers with that Mavic 3 because those controls are so smooth and so precise.
And I haven't even done my own tuning yet of the Mavic 3. I'm only flying it and I want to fly it in the standard, just as it comes out of the box for a while before I tune it myself. But I mean, I would like to slow a few settings down on it to get the way I want to fly it. But I mean, a lot of that is all personal choice. How you want, y'all different things to work or whatever. But coming out of the box, it flies fine. I got no complaints. I mean, a few things move too fast for me, but that's to be expected.
So, I see Sean in the chat here, World of Oz, and he was one of those guys. You remember at Spin Up, he says, no, I'm not buying that Mavic 3. But I've heard some rumors now that there were rumors. I think Sean started himself, that he flew it a little bit the Monday after Spin Up with Kelly, and he said he's kind of liking it now. So what I want to know is, Sean, did you pull the trigger on that thing? Not to put you on the spot, Sean.
Scott Nadeau says Best Buy has SD cards for 120 gig for $19.99 at Best Buy. So, and Lon saying hopefully Autel comes out with a new camera module and not a new drone. Yeah, I mean there's big rumors of a Autel Evo 3 Pro or whatever coming out. So, who knows if they'll one up DJI or not with a new Evo 3.
I think the point that Lon is making is one of the things that Autel has, and they really sold that Evo 2 on the fact that modular camera replacement. In other words, if a year from now they came out with a better camera, it was very easy to change. And so I think that's the point that he's making.
Yeah, and they never did it. I mean, they have a couple of enterprise type cameras for it, like with the one that sees the infrared and so on. But they never really came out with any why can't they just put a 4/3 on the current body they have now, because they already have long battery life and things like that. So they don't necessarily need a new airframe.
Yeah, and I've never flown one, but I hear people talking about the differences in how they fly. But Ron, you've enjoyed the flight controls on it, right? You've had pretty good luck with it.
Yeah, I think it's a good flyer. I've got no complaints at all, and any complaints I have, I've just tuned the Expo to my liking, and again, I think a lot of people that have the problem with the way the Evo 2 flies are people have never flown anything but a DJI drone before. So here's my car analogy: if you've drove Fords all your life, and then all of a sudden you get a GM product, and you say it doesn't drive right, maybe it's just because you're used to something else.
Very possible.
Yeah, and when somebody tells me something doesn't fly right, I always say, well, what do you mean? When you point the stick, it doesn't go where you're pointing? I mean, they never, I can never really get specific, of what's actually not flying right about it.
Well, and the other thing that, go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, I got to head out, guys. Sorry.
Okay, Lauren, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate all your input and information, and look forward to having you back on again soon.
Thanks a lot.
Good night, everybody. See you, buddy.
We are getting to almost the 10:30 hour here, so I guess we can start to wrap things up. I see Adrian Mateo Drones is joining us. Hello, Adrian from Florida. He's the Evo 2 guy down there.
A lot of folks in here. Well, the thing is, we do have a lot of diversity with regard to the different drones that people fly, and I fly a ton of different stuff, and I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. But I occasionally get called a DJI fanboy.
Yeah, well,
I know they work really good, so I guess I like them.
Back to cars. I mean, you're kind of a GM guy right now, but if you had a Ferrari in the garage, a Porsche in the garage, you'd like driving them all, right?
No question about it.
And the Porsche or the Ferrari or the Jaguar, they're going to drive different from your Corvette, not necessarily better or worse, just different, right?
Yep.
That's good. Like the Porsche may not be as good in a straightaway as your Vet, but it may handle a tight mountain road a little bit better. Each just like each car has its strength and weakness, each drone has its strengths and weaknesses as far as capability.
Ross is making a good point in the chat. He's saying, "Hey, it's a good thing that Autel and DJI go at it because it makes them both better."
Especially in the camera department or whatever. I mean, if Autel wasn't around, who would give DJI any competition in the camera space, Marcus?
Yeah, they really are. They really are the only ones right now, aren't they? Really, that's really. I mean, and to kind of point out about how hard it is. Let's bring up Hubsan again. I mean, look what Hubsan's been trying to do as they get away from those little cameras. They're struggling to make those bigger sensors work. So there's a lot of mojo that goes into those things.
Oh, look, Scott and Dude brought up 3 on the tree.
3 on the tree, man.
And we ever get a T-shirt, we should have something like, say, DroneNation in the back, say 3 on the tree or something. And
that would
nobody will be able to figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah, that would throw a few of them, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Ray Kelly said nothing wrong with a fanboy.
Yeah, that's what he said.
We get accused of being fanboys all the time.
Yeah, listen. They can. Yeah, I don't see it as an insult. I see it as a compliment.
And we get accused of fanboys, and we also get accused of talking about Hubsan too much.
That's very true.
We get accused of everything.
Yeah, a little bit. Everything.
I he's not in the chat tonight, but did you see Original Dobo's his review of the Mavic 3? It was really well done. I watched
about halfway through it
at lunch. Yeah. I want to shout Ken out. It's the best Mavic 3 review I've seen yet.
Yeah. And by the way, what I thought was interesting is that one that he had backed up into the tree. It actually, he was able to repair it, which I thought was interesting. It just
right. Somebody helped to get the camera working again. The camera.
Yeah. Hey, Lon, I'm going to ask Lon a favor. Keep that on the down low, please.
Hey, I want to welcome in Sunrise Water Media. That's Chris, who we met. He was one of the camera guys at Spin Up.
Camera drone.
Yeah, one of the cameras and musicians at Spin Up. Yeah. In fact, I think don't tell Kelly this. I think he kind of carried Kelly up there.
I think there was a little auto tune going on there for sure in the video. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What do you want me to comment now?
No, I know. I was just giving Lon a hard time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, we made Lon work hard tonight in that bit rate thing.
We did.
Lon deserves a little break here. We worked them hard tonight.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm kind of interested. I want to go watch that video of the guy that had the flyaway
and more interesting to see if DeMarco finds it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you want to wrap up with tonight before we let everybody? I know you got to get back to your pies are in the oven for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that
So,
pumpkin pie.
I know everybody else in chat's getting their, they're probably, out going to go out turkey shopping after the show. Do you have that thing in your supermarkets out west? If you got enough coupons, you get a free turkey. Do you have that stuff out west?
There's all kinds of different promotions. I'm sure there's one that has that kind of a promotion, Ron. Yeah. Then they get you in and you buy everything else overpriced, right?
Yeah, I just saw Leonard Oglesby in the chat. If you've been here all night, Leonard, I'm sorry. I mentioned Mr. Bo Jax has been with us for a while.
He's been in a while.
Of course, Maddie's been here all night. Mickey's been in here all night. Ross has been in here all night. So and Sean, he was working, but he's popped in here for a while. We need to talk to Sean soon about that update, that beta update for the GoPro Hero 10 that adds the max lens mod compatibility plus the we mentioned Barry with the Insta360. The Insta360 One X2 got a big software update today, added a lot of new features that improved a lot of things. So we need to get Sean on to talk about that. There is your beloved Hero 10.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just give you this one, Ron, because I just about pitched it in the lake today. You can have it. Well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But this Hero 10 has caused me a lot of grief and caused me to lose a lot of work. So
I could trade you this for it.
There you go. And I spent about 3 hours on tech with GoPro today, and I am questioning if I'll ever buy another GoPro camera.
Wow, that's a big statement because you've been a strong GoPro advocate. Yeah.
So I'll probably rethink that later. But the way I'm feeling right now, I am. I've always kind of been a GoPro fan, and man, this one is. Here's the problem, when you use the thing, and all of a sudden it locks up on you, it freezes and doesn't stops recording, and you lose hours of work. It's not good.
Hey, did you see what Sean said? His first one sucks, so maybe you got to send that dud back, Marcus.
Yeah. Yeah,
because we talked about this off the air, Marcus. I had the problem that a lot of people have where it just shuts off, and that doesn't heat up. It just shuts off prematurely, and I have to pull the battery out and replace it, and it fixes it temporarily. But you have a problem that nobody else seems to be reporting.
Well, I'm gonna kind of demonstrate here. So you see that little red light that's blinking right there while it's recording, and you can see the front screen on there. Well, that's what I see as I'm using the camera. But then I come back later and all the buttons won't do anything on it. They will not. They're ineffective, inoperable. And so you have to do a hard reboot, pull the battery out, put the battery back in. And of course, obviously you lose all that video. It tries to repair the card, and you get some of it back. And then, but what was even more frustrating was GoPro's support. I spent, so that's it. I shut off in the middle of recording. That's what you're seeing. And he said his would get stopped completely.
Remember Sean went to California to film the dolphins or the whales. And
that's right. I forgot about that.
And he lost a bunch of footage with the same issue you had.
Well, no, his is different because his just shuts down, just like what you're talking about.
Okay.
Ron. This, you don't know that it's shut down. It's still blinking.
You think you're rolling great video and you're getting nothing.
You're getting nothing, and it's locked up.
Hey, you'd have sent that camera to your worst enemy.
Well, I'll tell you this: had I got a hold of GoPro and I got the same kind of customer service that I've had, I guess, from the likes of Apple or even DJI. DJI was great. I had that problem with the Mini 2. But boy, oh boy, it was like pulling teeth getting a hold of anybody in the first place. And then when I did, it was hours of drudgery. So I've wasted this little camera has cost me a lot of hours of work. That's what I'm saying.
And you still have no satisfaction yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Yeah, it's very frustrating. So, hey, can I let us little secret out before we leave here?
Yeah.
Uh, I was talking to Sean over at Air Photography. I think he's going to be a guest on an upcoming show here on DroneNation.
Yeah.
You, that
Yeah.
guy, talk about reviews. Almost nobody puts out the their reviews like that guy does. Short, concise, to the point, covers everything so well. He does drones well, GoPros, Insta360s, and various other tech gear. I mean, I'm really excited about getting him on with us.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I just Sean just said he put up a video about GoPro support, so I just clicked on it. So I'll watch that one after the show as well.
Oh, good. You got a busy night here. I'm gonna have to go down and watch turn the football game on, make sure that DeMarco's pick comes right. I have to root his picks on.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, so Sean is saying return the 10 and exchange it if you can. So I begged the guy on support. I said, hey, just send me an RA and send me another one. I'll send you this one back, but they wouldn't go there.
How many days has it been?
I bought it in September 10th or something like that. So,
yeah. I guess next time you call, you should just say it doesn't work at all. It's a brick, won't even turn on, and then you'll get what you want.
There you go. Maybe that's a good idea. Or just plug 110 into it for a second, and
yeah. Just say it doesn't work at all. Say it doesn't even turn on, and they'll just have to take they'll have to take it back and whatever, give your money back, send you another one, doesn't matter.
Yeah, they gave me a whole they had me reload the firmware package and everything else. So I'll try it out and see how it does. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But if I have any more problems with it,
Lon's asked you had the GoPro coverage.
Yeah,
now,
I do.
If you pay for that $50 subscription, it's included in that subscription, right?
Yeah, I do. And you're by the way, you're supposed to get better support with that too. Well, if that's their good support, I'd hate to see their bad support.
Yeah, and we talk about customer service so much, and I worked in an industry with customer service, and customer service all boils down to the person you talk to that day. You can be talking to the company with the world's greatest customer service, but you could have got the good guy went to lunch, and you could have got the worst guy that day. If you call back tomorrow, I mean, you get a much better customer rep than you got today. Because again, no matter how good a company is, there's always some guy around doesn't know what he's doing that answers the phone.
Sean is making another really good point, and he's saying, if you bought it from Best Buy, then it does that. You just take it back. You say, hey, this one's no good, and exchange it for another one, or get your money back, or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. And you know why I didn't buy it from Best Buy? Because you couldn't get the $399 deal on it. At least you couldn't at first. When it first came out, you couldn't get that deal at Best Buy. Best Buy was trying to sell it at the list price.
Yeah, and I got that.
Or the GoPro website, if you got the subscription, you only had to pay $399 for it.
Yeah. Ray Kelly sent me an update here again. Let's see if it'll focus in here.
DeMarco said 27-13, so he could be right on the money if the Giants kick a field goal.
Yeah.
See, DeMarco came back strong this week. I'm proud of our guy out there in Chicago.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could go on and on about technology issues or whatever, but we're going to end it. And, I'll go first. I'll let Marcus end the show here. I just want to wish everybody a very happy holiday, especially people in the U.S. that are celebrating Thanksgiving Thursday this week here. I hope, this is kind of going to be last year was a COVID Thanksgiving. A lot of people didn't get together, but I think things have been eased up a little bit this year. So I think there'll be more safe gatherings, so I hope everybody really enjoys it this year. So Marcus.
Yeah, same thing. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And we're getting to the time of the year. We were just talking about this with Lauren. The weather is starting to change. So when you get a good day like I had today in Idaho, have your batteries charged and get ready so you can get out there and take advantage of those nice days and get out there and fly.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
See you next Monday, Cyber Monday. We'll be here with all the best deals in town.
10-4.